Welcome back to the video library. Today, we're going to be going over how to train a new employee on the sales screen. First, when you enter the software, you're going to be presented with our modules at the bottom here. To enter the sales screen, we'll click on Sales. This should load up all of your buttons. And the first thing, typically in a day, will be the cash count. We're going to navigate up to the Sales button and then go to Cash Count. To start our cash count, we're going to do our cash drawer details. What this is going to be is the details of what's inside the cash drawer. So if I had 5 20s, I'd hit 5, and if I had 5 10s, I'd hit 5, and then continue on any other denominations we have in here. Once we've created our cash drawer total, we can hit OK. We're going to replicate that number in the beginning balance, and we're going to hit Save and Close. We're now ready to start our day. Left-hand side in this white area, what's going to be comprised of our cart when we're selling. In the top left here, we have our sold to account. The sold to account is going to be very important when we're selling to a member, especially when using member account. This is what's going to tie the transaction to the actual member and thus show on their ledger. You may be presented with some notes about the customer, and then we're ready to sell. So in the sales screen, we can search by product code or description. So if I knew we needed to sell a greens fees, for example, I can start typing in green, and here we have everything related to the letters that we've typed in. So if I wanted to sell this item, for example, I'll just double click it. It'll add it over to the left-hand side in the sale area. But we also have our buttons down here. So these buttons correspond to items in your inventory. So if I needed a range medium bucket, I can add that. Some bottled drinks. Notice it took us under that button where we can then sell the appropriate drink. Seeing now that we're under a button, to get back up to the main menu, you can hit level up or top level. Level up is going to take you right back to the main tab. Notice we're on tab 1 here as it's illuminated in a little bit lighter of a color. We also have other tabs here with other things under them. The biggest thing is just going to be learning where all these buttons correspond to for your facility. But like I said, you can always search for items up here. You may see some information depending on what is turned on for your terminal about the customer up here under their name. Right now we can see my balance, how many points I have in loyalty, and also how much credit I have. In the middle here is a description about the customer. We have my account number, my type, which is pass holder, and my class. Class is what drives your rate in our system, so this is what's going to correspond to your status at the club or facility. As we can see here, I have a green smart card button. If this button is green, that means that I do have a smart card on my account. And then to use that, I'll just click on the button and then double click the appropriate smart card. There may be multiple in here, so we'll just double click the one that they want to use. What that is doing is a digital punch. So when I go back in there, it'll be less one punch for that specific smart card. Other things we might find ourselves doing in the sales screen is selling a gift card. We can see that that gift card tab is right here. If we click that, the first question is going to be how much gift card. So I'm going to do a $5 gift card. And at this point, we can actually swipe if we have a card reader. We can also do a manual entry here by just typing in the number on the gift card or gift certificate. Once we click into the next tab, we're going to put the person's name that's going to be receiving it. And then we're going to initialize the card. That's going to move that sale over to the sales screen just like anything else. In the bottom here, in these orange buttons, we can see a few items that we might want to take note of. First, quantity. So if we click on a corresponding item and then quantity, we can change that quantity here instead of finding the item again, and it's going to increase to that quantity that we put in. We also have batch discount. Notice nothing is selected in here like I just did here for Gatorade. That's going to be a batch discount. Batch discounts are going to allow discounts on every appropriate category of item. Notice that we were not able to discount one of the items in here because it wasn't allowed. But for a batch discount, we can give a 10% discount, and it's going to discount the appropriate items to the appropriate level based on the percentage that we put in. Notice the button is now illuminated with the amount of discount on this batch. You can also do an individual get discount. So if I wanted to individually discount just this range ball item out of the sale, notice that batch discount button turns into item discount. We can press that and it'll either allow or disallow us from being able to discount. I'm going to change this discount to a dollar discount of $1. The difference between a batch discount and an item discount are item discounts you can discount by dollar amounts and percent, and batch discount is just a bulk percentage for the whole cart. Other items we have in here is delete item. If I made a mistake and I didn't need this range ball, or they decided not to have it, we can hit the item and hit delete. That's going to take that out of the cart. And if you just needed to start completely over, you can certainly hit clear sale. That's going to clear everything out, including the customer's name you have up there, and you can start the sale once again. Down here we have our details, so our subtotal, tax amount total, and the total here in green. To finalize the sale, if we need to do nothing else, we can hit finalize sale. That's going to bring up our tender methods, where we can pay with however we want. I'm going to choose cash for this sale. This screen is going to be the tendered amount. So if this person gave us $25, you can put that in and hit enter. It's going to process the sale, print the receipt, and tell you the amount of change that we have due. So we owe this person $1.33 back. Once we hit OK, the sales screen will reset and it's ready to go. Up here in the sold to field, you can either click in here, leave it on a cash account, or press the spyglass next to it if you have a touch screen. This spyglass is a little bit easier to press with your fingers. You can search for a customer in here by either using the keyboard or typing it in. You can also search by class. So if we just wanted to see our full golf people, we're going to be presented with the people within that class right here. You can also add a new customer from this area. So if we needed to add a new customer, we can hit add new customer. This will bring up our add new customer screen. The account number will be auto generated, and we can put the person's name in here, their appropriate email, type, class, and loyalty level, and various other bits of information. Those bits of information that you want to gather are going to be dictated by what your club validate data entry options are. Once I've created it, I can hit OK. It's going to create that customer and automatically pull them into the sales screen for you. A few other options you might find yourself doing are doing a sale lookup. Up here in the top right, this orange button, Sale Lookup, this is where you'll go to find a sale. Possibly someone brought something in that they would like to return, or various other reasons you might be in here. You can use the sale number if they have the receipt. You can also search by the customer. This is going to work if you've sold the person specifically the item, like I just did before, or if I'm doing to the sale here. You can search by reference number, who sold it there, so the person at the facility. You can search by store date and time. You can also search for various other methods over here. For example, last four of the credit card if they used one. I'm just going to search for sales number and hit OK. It's going to bring up that specific sale in this instance since I'm just searching for one thing. Notice we have some notes about the sale, what happened, who it got sold to, what store, and who the cashier was. If you wanted to return this sale, down at the bottom, the orange button, you can hit return. It's going to bring this into the sales screen in a negative fashion. Once again, you're going to see those notes about the customer. And this screen is the return wizard. This screen is created because maybe they only want to return one of the items. So let's say this was the item that actually was the mistake. If we hit that item and hit the single caret, it'll pull one item over specifically and leave the rest of the sale intact. So this is a good method if we just need to return one thing or a few things out of the sale. If you need to bring everything over, you can leave everything blank and just hit double carrots. It's going to pull the entire transaction over just like that. Same thing to go backwards, but I'm just going to return this one greens fee. As we can see here, it only pulled one of the items over that we picked. Once again, we'll go down to the bottom right and hit Finalize Sale. We're going to return it for cash because that's what we started with. And now we can see the return cash amount. Hit OK, and that sale is finalized. Another last ticket button. If you press that button one time, it's literally going to reprint the very last transaction that happened on this specific terminal. Another feature you might find yourself using is what we call the split payment. So we would use this method when we want to split between multiple payment methods. So let's say I have a bunch of range balls that I'd like to split between two of my credit cards, or cash and credit card, or whatever the customer would like. We'll add our transaction into the sale screen here, and we'll go down to Finalize Sale once again. In here, instead of actually picking a payment method up here, we're actually going to press the split payment button down here by cancel. Once we press that button, it's going to take us into the split payment screen. A nice feature in here is if you're simply dividing by a specific number, for example 2, you can hit divide by and then the number, and the system will figure out the math for you. So I'm going to divide it by 2. I'm just going to split it right in half between a few payment methods. I'm going to use cash as one of the payment methods. Notice it autofills the split amount. And then I'm going to finish the other bit of the transaction with personal check. Once we've completed the full amount to equal the sales total, we see our different payment methods over here. We can edit those payment methods by pressing the pencil and changing the payment method or amount. We can also delete the line item if we need to re-add something different. This looks good, so I'm going to hit OK and Finalize down at the bottom. Since I'm using a personal check, it's going to ask me for a check number. Once we hit Submit, we're going to process both the cash and a personal check. Another button you might find yourself using to navigate around the system is going to be this Go-To button down at the bottom by Exit. When we hit Go-To, it's going to pull up all the modules that you might need to find yourself in. For example, the sales screen, which we are right now. Maybe you need to jump over to the customer reporting module. Just note that the Go-To button will pull up all the available modules for you to go to, including gift card balance. Gift card balance, if we press that, it's going to ask us to swipe or just simply hit the manual entry, and we'll find our gift card in here. Notice 1234 purchased by Ben, existing balance is $48. You can hit the card history button here to see any history that is printable and possibly given to the customer if they'd like to see the history of their gift card. But simply just looking up a gift card we can do by going to the Go-To and then gift card balance. Cash count also exists in here. So now we're ready to end our shift. We can go to Go-To cash count or sales cash count, whatever you prefer. They'll both take us to the exact same place. In the cash drawer details, this is where we're going to actually enter our actual details of our cash drawer at this time of our shift ending. We're going to count the drawer. In this case, I have 6 tens, 4 ones, and 7 pennies. At this point, we can see here our details. Notice in here we can't click and change anything. This is going to print to a receipt, which is essentially going to be your sales receipt that you'll put in your money bag and drop in the bank deposit. At this point, we're going to print to receipt. This is going to print a receipt that's going to show all this in report format for you to put into the money bag. If it's the end of your shift and someone's coming in behind you, we'll perform a shift change up here. So we'll hit shift change. And yes, that's going to stop the previous shift and start a new shift at the exact time that you press that. And this will also reset this area where the person coming in behind you can do their cash drawer details and start their shift. At this point, we can hit save and close, exit the system, the new person can log in and start their day. This has been a general overview of the sales screen. These are the things, tips, and tricks that you'll need as a new employee to navigate the sales screen and make a sale successfully, and also how to start and end your shift. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to call into support. We'll be happy to help.